A very good evening to one and all. Welcome to the sessions of Swadhyaya. We have already finished two of the sessions on two other topics. One was on Shalya and the other was on Shalakya. So hope you had seen it. So today we are starting our sessions on Rasashastra and Vaisheshya Kalpana. Myself, Faculty of Rasashastra, Vaisheshya Kalpana in Swadhyaya. And I've completed my PG from Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum. And currently, I'm the Product Development Manager in Everdynam Herbals Private Limited, Kintra, Trivandrum. So I'm the technical coordinator also of these Swadhyaya sessions. So with these sessions, we hope to provide you a academic help as per the syllabus itself. So we have gone through the syllabuses of PG as well as PG first year as well as UG syllabuses, and we have like charted out the syllabus and the academic sessions in such a way that both the UG as well as the PG will benefit from it. Anyway, UG will get only additional benefits from this. We are overlooking to PG first year students, and weekly one class each for each subject. That is what we are aiming at. And it is like we'll be providing you the PPT as well as the notes also. Printed notes will also be provided as per the syllabus and as per the classes that is going on. And in the last, we would also like to have some question answer discussions when it approaches the exam time. And we also assure you full-handed support till your exams. So you'll be added on to a group of the concerned subject, and you can interact with the faculty out there. You can ask your doubts if you want something more as per the syllabus, or like if you want some other classes. We would be pleased to offer you the same. So any suggestions, you can give it as feedback, and we'll try to improve to our best. So this has actually come up as a theme, or like many inquiries have come up to us seeking academic sessions like this, because especially in this scenario of COVID, most of the colleges cannot take their regular classes, and most of the universities are having their exams also almost on time. So in such a scenario, it is like most of the students are very much in need of such an academic help. That is, they don't have libraries to refer, they're not getting much classes to the concerned syllabuses. So it was with this portfolio and this aim that we have started these sessions. Hope you will have very good benefits from the same. And we have all qualified faculties for all the subjects, and we are working to our maximum and to the best of our knowledge to give you the best help and best materials for preparing for your exams. So hope it would benefit you all very much. For any queries, you can just contact Dr. Jasul, and he'll be there always ready to help. And for further details, you can surely contact Dr. Jasul. Thank you so much. So I think it's time for us to go on to the session. And today, I would like to start this session with one of the very frequently used and very potent formulations of Rasashastra, and also which involve high alchemical processes also in this preparation. And so I would like to take up Kopivakva Rasayanas today. It will be actually a topic of like a lot of curiousness will be there. So hope you will all enjoy, as well as it will be informative. Any queries, we can have a discussion at the end. So I think we can start with the session. Dr. Jasul, is the screen visible?
Yeah, done.
Okay. So once more, very good evening to one and all. As the topic says, Kupipakva Rasayanas. That is what we are going to deal today. And it is rightly told as the panacea of Rasa Shastra. That is, it is the nectar of Rasa Shastra. We've got quite a number of kalpanas, number of formulations mentioned in Rasa Shastra. And Kupipakva Rasayanas are definitely the nectar of those kalpanas or rasayanas because of its uh, potency, because of its action, its yogavahi nature, and it is one of the formulations which rightly proclaims the sloka, that is alpamatro upayogitvat aruchir aprasangata shipram arogyadayitvat aushadebhyo adhigo rasah. That is, even in the slightest dose, even in the minutest dose, alpamatra upayogitva aruchir, with no distaste, prasangatah shipram arogyadayitvat, it can make wonders in your body. It can give you vigara shamana as well as rasayanika action in your body. Shipram arogyadayitvat aushadebhyo adhigo rasah. This is exactly why we recommend rasa medicines for the patients. So Kupipakva rasayanas are one such formulations which very rightly go with this verse. So with this, we can move on to our topic. So in the following slides, we'll be mainly discussing about the history of Kupipakva rasayanas, the types of Kupipakva rasayanas, the method of preparation, and the importance of Kupipakva rasayanas. First of all, let's see about the history. Okay, so coming up to the history of Kupipakva rasayanas, we should say that in the future classes we'll be definitely dealing with the history of Rasa Shastra itself. So in that itself, we could say that Rasa Shastra has come into existence or has started to like develop as such only from 8th century AD onwards. Before, during the Vedic periods as well as the Samhita periods, those were in privé, especially in Vedic periods, not much as medicines, but they used to take up swarna as ornaments. They used anjana shalaka. They used metals and minerals as vessels. And of course, in one area, it has been mentioned that iron was used to make artificial limb for those people who had lost their limb in their warfare and all. Such references are there in the Vedic period. But coming to Samhita period, we can see more usage of these rasa drugs, metals as well as minerals, but not much in the form of bhasmas or etc. But those were used as like Trapusadi Varga was mentioned in Sushrita Samhita. Charaga uses Lelitika Vasa, that is Gandhaka only, Lelitika Vasa and Kushta as well as Vadashonadam. Such references were there. Even Ayaskriti was mentioned that uses iron flakes in Prameha and all. So such references were there in the Samhita period. So it was very random, here and there certain references only. But the actual predominant uses, how to convert these metals and minerals into Vyatihara medicines, how to convert it into Rasayanika medicines, that developed right from 8th century AD onwards with like the advent of Rasasiddha Nagarjuna. He was the student of Nalanda and Nalanda Takshashila. So it was with his advent and with his studies and things that various experimentations that actually Rasa Shastra began his reign in when we go into the history. And further, with 8th century AD onwards, it was only first it was actually a thought of like a shastra to convert lower metals to higher metals. That is to make more of swarna. So to convert, for conversion of metals. It was later in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th century actually with Muslim invasions in India that actually the Shastra had its golden era. That is with the admixture of Unani system, with the admixture of Hakims who were Muslim curers. It was actually then that these bhasma preparations, these kupipakwa preparations, potali preparations, like how to convert these metals and minerals into certain things which is very good for your health. That is to make it into a formulation, to convert it into certain kalpanas. Those concepts came into existence during after 10th century, that is 11th, 12th, 13th century. That was the golden era of Rasa Shastra. So coming to Kupipakva Rasayana history also, we have a similar history to see. The concept of Gandhaka Jarana, that was the beginning, that was the mark of the advent of Kupipakva Rasayanas in Rasa Shastra. The basic principles of Kupipakva Rasayanas are Moshana as well as Jarana. It is a mixture. That is, first we do Moshana of Parada, then we are converting it into Jarana. We will deal with those details in the further slides. Okay, just as an introduction and just to say the history of Kupipakva Rasayana, let me tell you that concept of Gandhaka Jarana, how we can do Gandhaka Jarana, that was first mentioned in 9th century AD by Govind Bhagavat Pada in his book Rasa Hridaya Tantra. Okay, by Govind Bhagavat Pada in Rasa Hridaya Tantra, that was the first time when the concept of Gandhaka Jarana was introduced. And it was from that onwards that began how you can prepare Kupipakva Rasayana. Then further, in around 12th century AD, in Rasendra Chindamani by Somadeva, there it was again mentioned about the Krama Agnipada, how to increase slowly the temperature. The concept of Krama Agnipada was introduced, and this again, this is also one of the major principle underlying Kupipakva Rasayana. Further, in 13th century, in Rasa Prakasha Suktakara, Acharya Yashodhara Bhatt has mentioned the preparation as Uttaya Bhaskara Rasa. Even in Rasa Prakasha Suktakara also, the name Kupipakva Rasayana was not coined. The preparation was mentioned and the preparation was named as Uttaya Bhaskara Rasa because at the end point in the Kupi, we saw something like the rising sun, red like the rising sun. I have pictures to show you. Something like that was shown. Because of that, it was known as Udaya Bhaskara Rasa, and the formulations were also known as, or the term was coined as Udaya Bhaskara Rasa, and the use of Sikata Yantra, that is another name for Valuka Yantra, use of Sikata Yantra was also mentioned in Rasa Prakasha Sudhakara. Again, coming into an Ananda Kanda also, under Rasa Moshana Vidhi, similar preparations were mentioned. Rasa Vakpada also in 13th century has mentioned similar procedures for making formulations like Agni Kumara Rasa. Actually, it was in 15th, 16th, 17th century in books like Ayurveda Prakasha, Rasendra Sara Sangraha, Rasa Tarangani, etc. It was in these books the term Kupipakva Rasayana was used. And also in these books, it also had a synonym like Sindhura Rasa or Sindhura Satrasha Rasa. That is because the end product of Kupipakva Rasayanas were mostly red in color, mostly like Sindhura. So the preparations were also known as Sindhura Rasa or Sindhura Satrasha Rasa. So actually it was in these books that we come across the term Kupipakva Rasayanas. And it is so simple, we can understand what Kupipakva Rasayanas, right? It is Kupi is bottle, Pakwa to be processed. So something which we process in Kupi. And Rasayanas. Rasayanas, we all know, Labhupayuda Shastana, Rasadinam Rasayana. Anything that gets into rasas and anything that nourishes rasa, anything which goes along with rasa to even the minutest channels of your body, that is known as rasayanas. So these preparations, those preparations prepared in Kupi which has rasayanika action, which can reach up to even the minutest channels of your body, are termed as Kupipakva Rasayana. So with this we have gone through the history of Kupipakva Rasayanas, how it came into existence. Okay, hope it's clear to you. So next, going on to Chaturvida Rasayanas. Okay, so Parata Kalpas, there are different Parata Kalpas. There are different formulations to which Parada can be converted to. So the 4 different Kalpanas to which the Parada is being converted for using it as Vyadiharatva and for Rasayanika uses is 4 types, that is Kharaliya Kalpanas, Parpati Kalpanas, Kupipakva Kalpanas and Potali Kalpanas. I'll give a brief explanation about everything because we will be taking these things in detail in further classes. Okay, but now because I've mentioned it, I'll give you a brief explanation of what each of them is. First of all, there is Gharaliya Kalpanas. I hope that almost all of you will be familiar with Gharaliya Kalpanas. Gharaliya Kalpanas is a Kalpana of mercury which we use mortar, which we prepare in a pestilent mortar by Gharaliya, titrating in a mortar. And the simplest and the commonest example that we have for Gharaliya Kalpana is Kajari. Okay, we all know about Kajari, right? धातुभिर्गन्धघातैश्च नद्रवेर्मर्दितो रसः सुश्लेष्णकजलाभासो कजली इत्यभिधीयते. That is anything, any dhatu or gandhaga when mixed with mercury, nirdrava, without any drava, and when you get a kajalabha, very black sushlashna, smooth fine material, fine powder, you call that product the kajali. Okay, kajali is the commonest example of Gharaliya Kalpana. That is a very good example for Murchana Vidhi also. See, when you say about Murchana and Jarana, I told you that Murchana as well as Jarana combined is Kupipatva Rasayana. See, the first two of them, Gharaliya Kalpana and Parpati Kalpanas, are the examples of things of Kalpanas which uses Murchana as its basic principle. And now telling about what Murchana is. Okay, there are different basic different procedures by which we convert a metal or a mineral into a useful medicine. Okay, you know samskaras, right? Samskara, gunandradhana muchade. So we use different procedures to convert a raw material into a medicine. So Moshana is one such process. Shodhana is one such samskara. We have to purify it, right? In the same way, Marana is another samskara, that is Bhasmikarana. It is another samskara. In the same way, when you have to convert rasa into a medicinal preparation, you have to do Shodhana for sure, but you cannot do Marana that easily. You cannot do Bhasmikarana that so easily. So, for rasa to be converted into a medicinal form, then what can we do? There comes the knowledge of Murchana and Jarana. Okay, it is by these processes that we convert a rasa, the Shodhita rasa, into medicines. Okay, so in Murchana Sanskara, it is actually we are introducing a bandha by some procedure, either by like titrating or by Parpati Kalpana, you have to melt it, the kajali, you have to take it in a ladle, melt it, pour it into a banana leaf and press it very well to get purple. This is another preparation. This is also an example of Murchana. That is, what are you doing? Simple kajali itself is Murchana Vidhi. That is, you are combining two things, some things, Dadu or Gandhaga, or maybe a mixture of Dadu and Gandhaga together with Rasa, and you are forming a bondage and you are forming a compound there in such a way that, this compound is going to give you health. This is going to be a medicine. So the Vidhi in which we are converting the Rasa into a Vyadihara property medicine, that Vidhi is known as what? Murchana. And the procedure, the Murchana has its base in Bandhana. That is the Banda. Yena yena hi chanjalya durgrahatvam hi nashyati. Rasarajasya samprokto bandhanarto hi vartikehi. That is the measures, the measures by which Yena hina hi chanjalyam durgrahatvam cha nashyati. The chanjalyam property of mercury as well as the durgrahana property of mercury is being controlled. So the measures by which these properties are controlled are termed as bandhana. So only by doing bandhana of mercury, we can control the chanchalya and durgrahatva property of rasa. And that is very much important to convert rasa into a medicine. Okay. And by this bandhana, what are we doing? We are bringing Vyadhighadaka property to rasa. That is tat vidhi prabhedena rasasya avyabhijarataha Vyadhighadakata yasyad samata murchana buddhehi. That is the quotation. That is the definition of murchana. The ways by which you are bringing Vyadhighadaka property to rasa. That is the property. That is the method, what you called as Murchana. Okay. So this is what you called as Murchana. And what is Jarana? What is Jarana? Jarana is yet another procedure. That is Purva Avastha Apradipannatvam. That is we are digesting something inside mercury. Yes. The property by which you are digesting something inside mercury so that there is no weight gain for mercury. Such a procedure is termed as Jarana. Then what is the difference between Murchana and Jarana? Murchana mainly gives Vyadhighadagata property, while Jarana can give Vyadhighadagata property as well as Rasayana property. Okay, that is the basic difference. So when it is a Kajali, when it is a Parpadi Kalpana, you get Vyadhighadagata property. When it comes to Kupipakva Kalpanas and when it comes to Potali Kalpanas, you have got Murjana as well as Jarana involved. So you're going to get Vyadighadagada property as well as, yes, you are going to get Rasayana property too. So that is the basic difference between these Kalpanas. Okay, hope it's clear to you. Anyway, we'll come in detail about all these things in the later classes. Today we are going to deal about Kupipakva Rasayanas only. Now, keynotes regarding Kupipakva Kalpanas. Okay, it should be Krama Agnipaka. While preparation, it should be Krama Agnipaka, or else you don't get the end product. Valuka Yandra should be there. Indirect and constant heating should be provided. That is, if you're going to give it by external fuel, be sure you're going to give constant heating. Putting fuel, going somewhere and coming will not do. You have to stand with it. Constant heating should be given. Okay. And dose, when you give it, the dose is also very important. So these are the keynotes of Kupipakva Kalpanas. Now we'll come up to the divisions or the types of Kupipakva Kalpanas. So what are the criteria by which we divide Kupipakva Kalpanas? By the presence or absence of Gandhaka, we can divide Kupipakva Rasayanas. By the method of preparation, we can divide Kupipakva Rasayanas. The place of where the end product is formed, by that we can divide Kupipakva Rasayanas. See, with the ingredients, we divide it as Sagandha, Nirgandha. With method of preparation, we divide it as Andarduma and Beharduma. We'll come to it. What is Andarduma, what is Beharduma and all, we'll come to it. Okay. Then, where the end product is being formed. That is, if it is formed in its bottom, we call it Talastha. If it is formed like in the picture, if it is formed in the Kanda, Gala, that is neck of the bottle, we call it Galastha. If the product is formed both in the neck as well as bottom, we call it as Ubhayastha. Okay. See, this is the detailed explanation when it is Sagandha, Nirgandha and all. Example of Sagandha, Kupipakva Rasayana is Makaradwaja, Rasasindura. Nirgandha is Rasamanika and Rasakarpura. Okay. Regarding the method of preparation, we have Andarduma and Baharduma. So usually Nirgandha preparations, those without Gandhaka preparation, when we do Kupipakva Rasayanas are usually Andarduma, because the basic principle is that during a Kupipakva Rasayana, first in Baharduma, we don't cork the bottle in the first itself, because we have to burn out the excess sulfur outside. So this excess sulfur will be burning out as flames. We'll see it in the later slides. I'm just telling you, flames, it will go out as flames. Once the excess sulfur is burnt out, these flames go off and fumes started coming. So when fumes started coming, we should understand that, see, the parada has started to sublime. So it is at this point as we usually cork it. And after that, we give Tibratni. This is the general procedure of Beharduma, which we will be dealing it in very detailed in the further slides. Just to know, this is which is happening in Beharduma. But Andarduma, what happens is that because most of the Andarduma preparations, they don't have Gandhaka with it. So there would be nothing to burn out. There will be no flames. Directly, it will be like the things will be going out as fumes. So once we see the fumes, what we do is that we cork it. So in Andarduma preparations, we cork it right from the beginning so that the vapors are inside. Okay. This is the difference between Andarduma preparation. Beharduma, we cork it only after, in the later time. When the whole of the Gandhaka is burnt out only, we cork. But in Andarduma preparations, we cork it right from the beginning onwards. Okay. This is the difference between Andarduma and Beharduma. Even though I say most of them are Nirgandha preparation, Rasa Tarangani has mentioned an Andarduma preparation for Rasa Sintura, which has Gandhaka in it. Okay. There is a different context. Anyway, understand that most of the Andarduma preparations are Nirgandha preparations. Okay. And coming to its examples, Rasamanika and Shila Sintura are its example. And regarding the Beharduma, Rasa Sintura, Magaradwaja are all Beharduma preparation. Most of our preparations are Beharduma preparations only. Okay. Next, regarding where it is being placed, where the end product is formed. I've already told you Talastha, Galastha and Ubhayastha are the types. Okay, coming to Talastha preparation, example is like Samira Panaga, Swarnaganga, Galastha is Magaradwaja, Rasa Sindura, Ubhayastha is Inguliya Manika Rasa, Siddha Magaradwaja, etc. Okay. Now, coming to the preparation of Kupipakva Rasayanas. So understand that preparation of anything, will have a Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma, and Paschat Karma, right? In the same way, here also preparation of Kupi Pakva Rasayanas also have a Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma, and Paschat Karma. So as we all know, what will be the Purva Karma? It will be always assimilation of things, right? We have to go get the raw materials, so we have to do its Shodhana, we have to prepare the Valuka Yantra, we have to prepare the Kupi for Valuka Yantra, we have to place this Kupi in the Valuka Yantra. Okay? After filling of everything, Kajali and all, after filling, we have to place this Kupi in Valuka Yantra. So till this is going to be the Purva Karma of the Kupi Pakvas. We will discuss each and every point in detail in further slides. Coming to Pradhana Karma, what is Pradhana Karma? The main point which you have to always remember is that give Krama Agni Paka. Okay, Krama Agni should be maintained. Slowly increase the temperature. Right from 50 degrees Celsius, you plot it. We always plot the temperature with a pyrometer. Plot it, give Krama Agni. Okay, give Krama Agni for the Paga. Observe the flames and fumes, or observe all the observations that you have to make during the procedures. Okay, and we have to do it very well. We have to observe it very rightfully. Only then we'll understand the stages in Kubi Pakwa. We'll describe it all in the further slides. Then Shalaka Sanjanana. We'll always have two Shalakas with us, Shita Shalaka and Tapta Shalaka. One, Shita Shalaka is always to know how Kajali is. What is the status of Kajali? Whether it has started melting, boiling, subliming, what is happening to the Kajali? Just to know that we always have a Shita Shalaka, and we also have a Tapta Shalaka just to clear off the bottle, neck bottle from depositing of Gandhaka, which is coming out, burning out. Okay, so two shalakas we have. So shalaka sanjanana we'll have to do in the pradhana karma. Then corking the pupi. Once the end point is observed, when the time of corking has come, you have to cork it and then allow it for swangash. After Tivragni and all, allow for swangashita. And paschat karma, you have to remove the pupi. After swangashita, remove the pupi from valuka yantra, break the pupi, collect the end product. So this is the three karmas, Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma, and Paschat Karma as far as preparation of Kupi Pakva Rasana is concerned. So now we will just look up to each of the karma in detail. What all is happening in each of these stages. Okay, we'll go. First, it is Purva Karma. See, first thing, what do we do in Purva Karma? As I have told you, you have to collect the raw materials. You have to identify them. Identify it as Gandhaka. Here we are going to give an example of Rasa Sindhura, okay? Because it is the Rasa Sindhura is the most commonly prepared Kupi Pakva Rasayana. So here I have taken the preparation of Rasa Sindhura as an example to explain to you the procedure of preparing a Kupi Pakva Rasayana. So we will be always talking in context of Rasa Sindhura here, okay? So first you have to take the raw materials. You have to get the Parada, you have to get Gandhaka, you have to identify them as Gandhaka and Parada as per your API. Then what you do, you have to do with Shodhana. Corresponding Shodhana has to be done. And you have to always, after Shodhana, how do you confirm? You have your Samyak Shodhana Shuddhi Lakshanas, right? In your books, you have them. Just confirm it with those Lakshanas that these things are pure. Okay. And also, definitely examinations also we can do in labs and also know its purity and all. So all those things you have to do, collect the things, get ready your raw materials. Okay. Next, what do you have to do for Kupi Pakwa? The basic thing which you need is Kajali. Okay. The basic thing which you need to prepare a Kupi Pakwa Rasayana is Kajali. But Kajali can be different. In Rasa Sindhura, it is just mercury and sulfur. When it comes to like the Siddha Magradwaja, it is mercury, the sulfur and gold. So in different Kupi Pakwa Rasayanas, it's different. So as per the references of the whatever you are going to make, as per its reference, you take the ingredients. And first you have to prepare the kajali for it. Okay, prepare the kajali with these ingredients. Now, there are certain rules to prepare kajali for Kupi Pakwa Rasayanas. The first one is that the kajali, if it is just rasa and gandhaka alone, as we have already mentioned, you know the quotation. Dadubir Gandhaga Desan Nadraver Matado Rasaha. Just combine Gandhaga and Rasa together. Titrate it well till the end point. That is Tushleshnam. It should be smooth. Nischandram. It should be lusterless. Rekha Purnatvam. When you take it, it should be it should be well going in between the these marks. Okay. Rekha Purnatvam should be there. Then what? Kajala Basam. It should be black. Varitaratvam, it should float on the water. So these are the end points, the end or the lakshanas of Kajali. Till these lakshanas seen, you have to titrate it. Okay, after titration, if there is a Dravadravya mentioned in the preparation of Kupi Pakvarasana, then after the preparation of Kajali, this Nishandra Kajali, you have to add the Dravadravya and again titrate it. Okay, this is what you have to be careful. First, form the Kajali first, then add Dravadravya and again titrate it. In Rasisintura, Vadangura Swarasa is usually mentioned as a Dravadravya, and that Vadankura Swarasa should be added only after the formation of the Kajali with Rasa and Gandhaka. Then add Vadankura Swarasa and then again titrate it to get the powder. Okay, so this is the first rule. Now the second rule is that in case if a Dadu is being mentioned along, like as I have told you in case of Siddhamagaradvaja, that is gold is being mentioned. So if a Dadu is being mentioned, then first make an amalgam. Okay, first make an amalgam of this Dadu with Rasa, and then to this amalgam put Gandhaka and form the Kajali. So if it is Swarna or Rajata, you can add it as thin flakes. If it is Naga, Vanga or Yashada, it has low melting point. So what should you do? You melt it first, then add it with the Resa, that is mercury, titrate it to form the amalgam. To this add Gandhaka. Okay. Now, if it is a mineral like Haridala, Manashila, Gauri Pashana, then what you have to do? You first prepare the Kajali with Gandhaka. Resa and Gandhaka, you prepare the Kajali. To this Kajali, you add Haridala, Manashila and Gauri Pashana, whatever it is. Add again, titrate it well and take it as the ingredient for Kupi Pakvarasayana. So these are the basic rules for preparing the Kajali of the Kupi Pakvarasayana. So it should be very important. Kajali formation, if it is just Rasa and Gandhaka, do it Nirdrava. First form the Kajali, then add Dravadravya and do the titration. If Dadu has to be added, first Dadu and Rasa combine amalgam, then add Gandhaka. If Haritala Manashila is there, then first form the Kajali with Rasa and Gandhaka, and then add the Haritala or Manashila, whichever mineral is there, then add that. Okay, these are the general rules for preparation of Kajali for Kupi Pakvarasana. Hope it is clear also. Next it is preparation of the Kupi. Okay, there are lots of vessels or like the bottles which has been mentioned for the preparation of Kupi in or classical reference. There is like Kaju Kupi is there, Mritpatra is there, Loha is there, copper is there. Lots of references are there. I have given everything in the notes, but in practical purpose, what we use is amber colored glass bottles to be simple beer bottles. That is what we usually use for preparing a Kupi. So you take one Kupi, you clean it well, dry it well. Then what you have to do? You have to wrap it. Mritika Lipta Ambara. That is the cloth which is smeared with mud. Regarding the mud also, there is a lot of references in our classics. All those things I have given it in the note. You can go through it. But in practical practice, what you usually take is Multani Mitti. Okay, you mix cloth with Multani Mitti. That is, usually we take 4 angula broad cloth and we mix it with Multani Mitti and you wrap it around the Kupi. Okay, and wrapping also there is one rule. First you wrap it once and you have to dry it. Again, wrap it, dry it. In this way, 7 wrappings you should undergo, and after each wrapping you should dry the bottle. Only then you can get a good heat resistant bottle. Okay, this is how you have to do. 7 layers of wrapping you have to do with Multani Mitti smeared cloth, but after each of the wrapping you have to dry it. Okay, so this is regarding the preparation of the Kupi. Now our Kupi is also ready. What is next? Next is that filling of the Kupi. Okay, filling Kupi. How do you fill the Kupi? You should not waste the Kajali and all. It is really costly. So keep a funnel, fill it with it. And while filling, again, what you have to observe, what you have to be careful is that fill only 1/3 part of the Kupi, because you should give ample space for the Kajali to melt, boil, sublime and all. So fill only 1/3 of the Kupi. That is important. Okay. Next, placing this Kupi in Valuka Yandra. For this, you should understand what Valuka Yandra is. So, we'll have a brief description about what Valuka Yandra is. Hope we'll have this detailed description during when we take Yandra, Kuta, Koshti and all. But because it is inevitable, we'll have a brief description of what Valuka Yandra is. Okay, this is just a pictorial representation. Actually, this is the bhatti, that is usual thing which we have for Valuka Yandra. That is, we prepare something like this. You saw in the upper picture. See, in this picture, no, you have this. You have two holes like this, and in the upper part you have a, see, you have a opening like this. See, this opening. This opening is what you see here. Okay, so understand that this is what you called as a bhatti. Okay, or a furnace, bhatti. Okay, and in this, inside this bhatti, we usually insert a trench, an iron trench. See, you can see in this picture, this iron button, this rim, no, this is a rim of the trench actually. So this iron trench we insert inside this bhatti. So we call this trench as bhanda. Okay, we call it as bhanda. So in this we can see, this is the, see, this one is the iron trench, this is the bhanda. Okay, and there is specific dimensions for bhanda also. It should be 1 vitasti deep, and the capacity should be of 5 adaka. Okay, this is the dimensions of a bhanda. Bhanda is usually an iron trench is what we usually take. There are in classical references mud and all is being told, but for practically, for good transmission of heat and all, we usually take bhanda as iron trench. That is what we take as a bhanda, and the dimensions are the same. That is 1 vitasti and deep and 5 ataka. It should hold out. Okay, and this we would take, and this bhanda will have a hole at the bottom. The chidra would be there, and its pramana is also given as Tarjanya angula pramana, or 2 to 3 angula in diameter. Usually in practical practice, we take it as 2 to 3 angula diameter. That hole will, that chidra would be there, and in that chidra we would be placing an abraga patra. As per Rasa Tarangani reference, we place a mica flake, that is abraga patra, we keep it. Why do we keep this abraga patra? Because abraga, mica, as we all know, it is a very, it takes up heat very fast, and it gives off heat also very fast. That is why it has been used in iron boxes. You know, no? Iron box have got mica inside. It gets heated up very fast, and it loses heat also very fast. This is exactly what we need here, because in the lower part, we are fueling it down, no? And here we have already told that we are giving an indirect heating to the, kajili, because kajili is inside the pupi, and we are giving indirect heating. So if it is iron, when we take iron trench, if the bottom is also iron takes a lot of time to heat up, and iron takes a lot of time to give up heating also. So just to avoid that, what we take is that area we just cover it with abraga patra, so that the heat transmission is easy and it goes out also easy. Okay, so we keep abraga patra there, and then we to 2 to 3 angulas we first fill up the sand. Then we keep up the bottle upi right in the center, and we also connect the pyrometer. The wire of pyrometer also be connected. Then we put sand, all over sand. In all sides we put sand. Up to the bottle, up to the neck of the bottle, we put sand. Okay, and then we give fuel. So this is how we keep Kupi inside the Valuka Yantra. Hope it is clear. Okay. This is the picture. So here in the upper, in this hole, from here we give the fuel. From here we collect the ashes. Okay, this is the bhatti. Now coming to Pradhana Karma. Okay, we are coming up to Pradhana Karma. So we are going to prepare Gopi Pakwa now. So Kramatni, that is the most important thing, as I have already told you. We divide the Pradhana Karma into 3 stages. First stage we give only Mritu Agni, then we give Madhyama Agni, then in the last stage we give Tivra Agni. In Rasa Tarangani and all, we can see only 2 stages for the preparation of Rasa Sindhura, that is Mritu Agni and Tivra Agni only. 2 Yama we say for Mritu Agni, 2 Yama we say for Tivra Agni. But in Rasendra Sara Sangraha, it has been very detailedly told about these 3 stages as Mridu, Madhya, Tivra, Agni, and approximate time that it is told is like with 4 hours. 4 hours Mridu, 4 hours Madhyama, 4 hours Tivra, Agni. But it is never right to calculate the stages on the basis of hours, because it can vary with a lot of factors. We can deal it later. That is, if the fuel you're giving is not right, that is not constant temperature. more time it will take. If the temperature is low, if it is a humid climate, again, more time you will take. Based on the ingredients, it can take more time, isn't it? If it is like, if equal amount of sulfur and mercury you are taking, then it may take only this much hours, 12 hours in short, you'll to get Rasa Sindhura. But if you are going to take Triguna Jarida Kajali, that is 1 part mercury with 3 parts of sulfur, till 100 parts it has been told in the classics. So based on the amount of sulfur, the time will also increase for getting the end product. So we can never say it in the basis of hours, but roughly we say that it is 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours each, but you should never say it in the hour type. Know the stages, know the science, take up the observations, that when the kajali melt, when it is boiling, when it is subliming. So based on that only you have to decide the stage. Okay, first we'll see the Mridu Agni stage. In this stage, we give a temperature of around 150 degrees to 200 degrees Celsius we give. Okay, and here what is happening? Yeah, here melting of the kajali. First, the kajali melts. Okay, in this temperature, kajali is melting. And this is confirmed with Shita Shalaka. Okay, there is the cold the Shalaka which we keep at room temperature. With that, we are checking whether kajali is melting. Okay, then sulfur starts to burn out as blue flames. So we can understand that when the blue flames come, we can understand that Gandhaka Jarana is starting. Okay, and then so this is the stage. And in after the Mritu Agni, that is, when should we understand that Mritu Agni stage is over? When should we give more fuel? When should we go to the next stage? That is when we look through the opening of the bottle. You can see something like this. See this one. Saw this yellow thing? Yeah, this shows that it is boiling. It has started. Kajali has started to boil. See this yellow thing. Okay, but when it is like this red, it is the stage that we have to start corking it. When it is Madhyama stage is over and it is going to be, it is the time for it to start to give Tivragni. That is, the whole of sulfur is burnt now. It is only the rasa that is remaining now. In this stage, when we see through the hole of the bottle, when that red thing has come, so we should understand that, yeah, it is the time for you to cork. Okay. So when should we understand that we should give more fuel? That is when you look through it and you find yellow thing there. That is, it is almost yellow color. You should give more Agni. You should go to the next stage, that is Madhyama Agni stage. Rise the temperature from 200 to up to 400 degrees Celsius. We can see boiling of kajal and profuse sulfur fumes will be coming out. So in this stage, because of this profuse sulfur fumes coming up, there is chance for the neck of the bottle to get blocked with the sulfur. So we use Tapta Shalaga to just clear off that blockage. Okay. Then once the whole of the sulfur is being burnt out, we can see that no more flames are coming, but we begin to see some fumes, some white fumes coming up. At that point, understand that, yeah, almost the whole of the Gandhaka has boiled and gone out. Gandhaka Jarana is almost nearing to its end. Now we have this time for us to cork. Okay, just view it. There are certain more things also, tests also to be done. Like we'll deal it with it coming slides. So just look as the primary thing. Just look into the bottle and you can see that red thing. Okay, as I have already shown you, the red. That is exactly why you call it as Udaya Bhaskara Rasa. You can see that red thing in the bottom of the kupi, and when that is there, you will do a few more tests which we will deal in the coming slides. So those tests has to be done, and when we confirm that the whole of the Gandhaka is burnt out, we cork it. Okay, we cork it with a wooden cork, put multani mitti and all around it, and then what will we do? We should remove the sand from the neck portion of the bottle. Remove the sand. Okay, so remove the sand and all, and that is now give Tivragni. The next 4 hours. For this last stage, we don't have any further endpoints to look into. So in the last stage, we give 4 hours Tivragni. That is from 400 to 600, 650 degrees Celsius approximately. The temperature goes around 600, not more than 600 we go. At 600, 4 hours constant temperature we give, and then we remove the fuel and let it for Swangashita. Okay, so this is the Krama Agni that we give, and this is the stages of Pradhana Karma. And the temperature variations. Okay, it is not up to 600 degrees Celsius for all preparation or Kupi Pakwa preparation. This is only in case of Rasa Sindhura that we say we should go till 600 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the time also, as I have already told you, it is not dependent on on the hours. It is dependent. How much heat you have to give depends upon the endpoints. I have already mentioned you the observations, the test that you have to make while giving the temperature, and how long you have to give certain temperature. That should be done based on the test or based on the observations that you make during the process, and that depends upon the amount of sulfur. How long Mritu Agni is going to be given, how long Madhyama Agni is going to be given, that all depends upon the amount of sulfur you are going to add, ingredients of the preparations, the quality of the sand, quality of the fuel, and the consistency of heating that you are going to give. So the temperature varies on all these things. And in case of preparations also, if it is Rasa Sindhura, Malla Sindhura and all, 12 hours, in and around 12 hours will be usually enough. And the temperature maximum which you have to go is 600 degrees Celsius. In Rasa Karpura, see, it is only 300 degrees Celsius up to which you have to go. And the time is also 9 hours only. In Rasa Pushpa also, it is 400 degrees Celsius is the maximum limit, and 9 hours is the approximate time that is needed. In Swarna Vanka, 450 degrees Celsius, and it is 12 hours. See, so these are the variations in temperature. So the example that I have cited you is regarding Rasa Sindhura. So it is approximately 12 hours, and the maximum temperature that you have to reach is also around 600 degrees Celsius. Okay, this is the temperature that we have charted for preparing we have to chart this always when you do a Kupi Pakwa Rasayana. Chart this temperature, that is with temperature to time you have to plot it. Okay, it usually comes up to 12 hours if it is Samaguna Jarida. If it is Dviguna Jarida, it takes more hours. It takes around 14 hours. If it is Triguna, it takes around 18 hours. Shadguna and all, I think it takes around 24 hours, more than 24 hours it takes. So it depends upon the amount of sulfur. Okay. Next, Shalaka Sanchana. This we have already dealt with. No, I have told you about Tapta Shalaka, Shita Shalaka. See, when you put it, this is Tapta Shalaka which we have put, and you can see that orange flame coming. You can see, red orange flame coming out. This is in the Madhyama Paka stage. That is, when it is blocked with sulfur, we put Tapta Shalaka inside, and these flames we can see. Okay, we have already dealt with this Tapta Shalaka, where we put Shita Shalaka. That is first to analyze the stage of Kajali, and the second, that is, I've already told you, that is few tests we have to do before corking. First one is that the flames gets over, and this just the fumes that comes up. That is the first one. Second one is that when you look into, you can see a red thing in the bottom of the kupi. The third thing is this one. You put in Shita Shalaka, and you will find nothing. Okay, at the end of the rod, there will be nothing because the parada has started to sublime, no? So Kajali would not stick onto this end of this thing, Shalaka. So that is the third test, okay, before corking. See, these are the observations you have. Shalaka Sanchanana, flame test. Blue flames usually in the starting, yellow, orange flames in the Madhyama stage. Absence of flame when you see, you have to cork. Order also, arsenic or sulfur fumes order you will get based on the ingredients. Kupi bottom, when you view, you can get sun yellow during the initial stages, that is in the Mritu Agni time. Madhyama Agni, when it is over, you will get reddish color in the bottom. And the next thing, the last test which we usually do is coin test. You take a copper coin, you place at the opening of this kupi, and you can see white spots in this coin. And this shows that it is the parada which is coming out, and it's time for you to cork. So this is the last test that you do, and you get, once you get the copper test, coin test positive, it's time for you to cork. Okay. So these are the observations that these are the tests you should perform before corking the kupi. These are few points you have to note. Okay, so all these points, all these informations we take it only for Vihar Doma. Okay, if it is under Doma method that we are doing, nothing of these sort of things which we will be observing. We will be rightly corking the the bottle right from the beginning itself, because fumes will be coming and we'll be corking it right from the beginning, and no such observations we are going to make. And there will be a definite time usually told in the samhitas or in the classics for each of the preparations. Those many hours we will be putting it on, and this is exactly how we will take up in Angarduma preparation. In Narganda preparations, what we have to see, it's actually sulfur that is burning out, right? As blue flames, as yellow flames. When there is no sulfur, such flames will not come. There will be no flames coming if it is a Nirganda preparation. So these things you have to keep in mind. Next is after corking, what you have to do. I have already told you. Corking you should do with a wooden cork and tie it out with multani mitti and a cloth and all. And then the one important step you have to do is remove the sand from the neck of the bottle, because this hot vapors of mercury are coming up, subliming up, and it should gets cooled up and it should gets deposited in the neck of the bottle, right? It should cool out there. So if there is hot mud there, it won't. It will stay as vapors only. So you have to remove the mud from the neck of the bottle, and you should allow it to sediment in the neck of the bottle. For that, we remove the sand from the neck of the bottle. So this aids in cooling and accumulation of the sublime vapors in the gala portion of Kupi Pakwa. Okay. So after removing the sand, it is approximately 4 hours that we give Tivratni. This is a video which removes the sand from the neck portion. You can just see that. See, after corking, we are removing the sand from the neck portion. It is hot sand. You can see the color of the sand has also changed to like a slight orangish color. That is because it is red hot. The sand is really hot. It is almost like the temperature was around, this is starting of Tivra, you know, it is around 450 degrees Celsius, the temperature. So the sand is also really hot. And we are removing it from the neck portion, so that the vapors can come and sediment at this area. We are removing it into the, like, you should be very careful that the kupi, you should not disturb the kupi, you should not break it. So you should be very careful while taking the sand. So this is how we take it. Okay. Next it is the Paschat Karma. So after procedure. First it is breaking the kupi. So once it is Swangashita, remove the kupi from the Valuka Yantra, and then what you do, you have to tie a thread dipped in kerosene. Okay, you tie a thread dipped in kerosene around the bottle 2 to 3 inches above or below the endpoint product formation. That is, if the product is formed in the bottom, in as talista, just leave 2 to 3 inches, 2 to 3 angulas from the area where it is being formed, and product is formed, and tie this thread, kerosene dip thread. If it is galasta preparation, 2 to 3 inches below the product formation, gala portion, you tie this thread and do. If it is ubhayasta, make sure that it comes in the middle portion, so that you won't waste any of the materials. Okay. So, so as per where the product is being formed, you have to tie this kerosene thread. Very tightly you have to tie it also, and ignite fire to this thread. And once the flame is really on, you wait for around 4 to 5 seconds, and then wrap it suddenly in a wet jute sack, so that this heated up thing, then suddenly this coolness comes, it breaks off at that point. Okay. And then remove the wrapping and we can break the kupi. I'll show you. So this is again a video of like breaking the kupi. You can just see, this is the kerosene thread. This is the rasa sindura that we have prepared, and it has been formed in the galasta area, and we have like put the thread just 2 to 3 inches down. See, there you have put the it has been flamed on. We put the flame on. See, wait for the flame to like burn very well, burn the thread very well. Once it is burned, wait for about 4 to 5 seconds. so that it really gets hot. The kupi should also get really hot, no? Only then it will break. So just wait for the kupi to get really hot. And the jute sack there is really wet. It is a wet jute sack. Once it is like hot and it is really flamed, just put down in the sack and just wrap it. You can see it in the video. See, we're wrapping it. Wait for 3 seconds. Okay, remove the wrapping. See, you can see it broken. And you can see the rasa sindura also there inside as galasta preparation. So now scrap carefully. No, you should do it very, 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 very carefully. No bit of glass should come along with this. Okay, so do it very carefully. Scrap the things, the product out from the bottle. Put it in a mortar, and when it is formed, it would be silvery in color, the rasa sindura. But once you grind it in mortar, don't add anything. Okay, no dravya we add. We rub it just simply. Only that product we take and rub it, and once rubbed, you get this red product. See, this red product. This is why we again call Kupipako Kalpanas as Sindura Kalpanas. Okay, and then now give it for examination. See, this is the picture of the products where, as per the accumulation of the product, this is Rasa Sindura, it is Kandesta or Galasta. This is Swarnavanga. Swarnavanga, it is a Kalasta preparation. We get it in the bottom. Okay, this is Ubhayasta, this is Magaradwaja, Siddha Magaradwaja. So that is both Kalasta as well as Galasta we take. Usually it is the Swarna will be in down and the Magaradwaja, the other part will be up. So we take it, grind it together and use it. Okay, so this is the examples of Kandasta, Kalasta and Ubhayasta. After you take up the product, you have to send it for analysis and examination. This is very important. Please don't omit this part. Analysis and an examination of any product you prepare is very much important because it should abide by the API parameters. Okay, so first you check for the physical organoleptic examination that you can do that. You should check the color, order, consistency, whether it is crystalline, amorphous. Then go for the Basma Pariksha. You should check all those things. Chemical examination, that is qualitative examination as well as quantitative examination. Then instrumental examination is what you have to do: XRF, XRD, ICP-MS and AAS. These are the examinations of usually Bhasmas as well as Kupi Pakwas. So what these things are, we will be dealing it in future classes. That is, by these things we are analyzing the particle size of the product, the constituents of which metal is predominating, what is the compound that we get. All these things we are analyzing via this XRF, XRD, ICP-MS and AAS. AAS atomic structure and all we see via, we have to check all these things. Okay. This is actually a review of the very commonly used Kupi Pakwa Kalpanas: Rasa Sindura, Magaradwaja, Rasa Karpura, Rasa Pushpa and Swarnavanga. Okay. In exam point of view, these are the usual Kupi Pakwa Kalpanas which is asked for you. So this is roughly I've made it into a chart as the ingredients, dose and indications. Okay. Rasa Sindura, ingredients is Shuddha Parada and Shuddha Gandhaka. And Magaradwaja, it is actually 8 parts of Shuddha Parada, 1 part of Shuddha Swarna, and 16 parts of Shuddha Gandhaka. If it is Siddha Magaradwaja, you are the Swarna, instead of 1 part, it will be 4 parts. Okay, dose is half to 2 rati. And indications, it is like Kantikara, Ayushya, Vajikarana. So Rasa Karpura, it is again like quantity of Shuddha Parada, Spatika, Kasi Sasaindava, Gairika, etc. So 1 by 64 to 1 by 32 is its dose. Branaropana, Grahi, Pushtakna, Atisarana, Shakar, its indications. Rasa Pushpa is equal quantity of Shuddha Parada and Shuddha Kasisa, equal part of with Saindava Lavana. So half to 2.5 rati is its dosage. Vishujika Nashaka, Pittahara, Vishanashaka. Swarnavanga is Shuddha Vanga, equal quantity of Shuddha Parada, equal parts of Shuddha Gandhaka, Shuddha Navasadara. 1 to 2 rati is the dose in Rasayana, Vajikarna, Pushtakna. This is the chart that just to let you know what are the common Vivakwa Rasayanas, usually which is being in prepared and in question point of view and exam point of view itself, these are the common things which come. So if someone asks you about the method of preparation, just understand whether it is Andardoma or Bahardoma preparation, because I've already given examples for Andardoma, Bahardoma preparations, right? So based on that, just understand whether it is Andardoma preparation or whether it is Bahardoma preparation. Method of preparation, you can write the same thing. If it is Bahardoma preparation, the same for almost everything. Okay. If it is Andardoma preparation, also method of preparation is same. Okay. Usually in exams also they ask only Bahardoma preparation, and the most commonly asked preparation is Rasa Sindhura only. And again, one of the frequently asked one is Siddha Makaradwaja. Okay. I haven't seen any others asked that frequently, but still, you just in your final year, PG final year, of course, Varnavanka, Rasakarpura, Rasapushpa, everything they will be asking. But first years usually it is Rasa Sindhura or Siddha Makaradwaja that usually that they ask. Okay, so point out on that. And the method of preparation, you can write the same thing only. And regarding the regarding the ingredients only, you make the concerned changes, and those also you noted, because and the indications also you have to study the sloka, Rasa Sindhura, Makaradwaja and all. Final year you have Yoga Vichara. In Yoga Vichara PG syllabus you have every slokas to study. In that time you have to study everything. But now Rasa Sindhura and Makaradwaja, it is a must for PGs. For UG students, you don't have to bother much about any of these things. You don't have to write slogas also. It is not that must that you have to write slogas and all, but you should write the content very clearly. If possible, draw the pictures, picture of the Kopi, picture of the Valuka Yantra, all these things you draw it. Okay, so that is what is important as far as UG is concerned. But PGs, make sure you study the slokas of at least Rasa Sindhura and Makaradwaja. Okay. So, and all those references, we'll be giving it via notes. Now, coming up to the importance of Kopipakva Rasayanas. Okay. What are the importance of Kopipakva Rasayanas? As I have already told you in the first itself, the relevance of all Rasa drugs. Relevance of all Rasa drugs, including Kopipakva Rasayan. The first verse you have to quote is Alpamatroupayogitvat Arucher Aprasangata Shipramarogyadayatvat Aushadevyo Adipo Rasana. This is the first quote you have to mention, because that is exactly why we give Rasa medicines. You want a quick action. Why do you give antibiotics in modern medicine? You need a quick action. In the same way, herbal drugs take their own, their own time to act, because it has to undergo the process of digestion. But Rasa drugs have the property of Sukshma Vyavai properties there for Rasa drugs, because of its minuteness, because of its structure, because of its, they are nanoparticles, right? There are a lot of studies which prove that Bhasmas are nanoparticles. Even Kopipakvas are also nanoparticles. It has been studied. And what is the chemical formula? It is Hg, mercuric sulfide is it? And the ratio of mercury to sulfur in Kopipakva Rasayana is 6:1. Okay, don't confuse it as 1:6. It is not 1:6. Mercury is to sulfur, because sulfur is burned out, right? We see so much sulfur going out, and after that, will you have sulfur so much? No. The ratio of mercury to sulfur in Kopipakva, after Kopipakva Rasayana, Kopipakva Rasa Sindhura is 6:1. Mercury 6 parts, sulfur 1 part. That is why we say that Jarana has happened. Jarana of, it is Gandhaga Jarana that is happening in mercury during Kopipakva Rasayana. So because of this Jarana, what property will it acquire? It will have Vyadihara as well as Rasayana. Yeah, it will have Vyadihara and Rasayanika action. And the bond form in Kopipakva, because heating is in, it is Agni preparation, right? So in because Agni is being given, the bond formed is also relatively very strong in Kopipakvas, and that gives it the high potency, Yogavahi property, Shikravahi property, and the capability to enter even the minute channels. And it gives effect even in minimum dosage and easy to administer. Okay. So these are the importance of Kopipakva Rasayanas. Okay. So yes, Uttamo Rasavaidestu Madhyamo Mulikadibihi Adamaha Shastradhahabhyamidam Vaidyasridamadaha. So Vaidyas have been divided into three. That is Rasavaidyas, Mulika, that is Aushita Vaidyas, and with Shasvradaha, that is surgeons. So who is Uttama? Uttamo Rasavaidyasu, because by in small doses we can get very good results. We give Vyadihara as well as Rasayana action. So in small doses, without looking the dosha, dushya, kala and all, we can give rasa medicines. But Mulikat Bihi, can we give like this? Churna Snehadishu, can we give like that? No, we cannot give like that. And Shastra Daha, they are being considered as the Adama because we are tormenting the patients, isn't it? But by Chetana, Bhedana and all, we are tormenting. That is the last line of treatment, right? We are tormenting the patient. So we consider it as Adhama Chikitsa. So which is Pradara Uttamo Rasavaidestu Madhyamo Mulikat Bihi Adamaha Shastrataha Byamidam Vaidis Pridamadaha. So with this, we can wind up today's class. So we'll just have a quick revision as what we have just gone through it right from the beginning onwards. That is like, first, what did we look into first? We looked into the history of Kopi Pakwan, right? We told that right from 9th century it was with the advent of Gandhaka Jarana that Kupi Pakwa started, right? Kupi Pakwa Kalpanas, it started with Gandhaka Jarana. Slowly Udaya Bhaskara Rasa references came up. Then what did it come? Yeah, it came. Then after that, yes, there was references that method would began to be used by Rasaratna Samuchaya, Ananda Khanda, and all the method began to be mentioned. And first, the terminology is Kupipakwa Rasayanas came to be in the later, like 15th, 16th, 17th centuries. That was time when actually the actual name quotations as Kupipakwa Kalpanas, wide description of formulations in the context of Kupipakwa Rasayanas came into. So this is about the history of Kopi Pakwa Rasayanas. After history, what did we look into? We looked into, yes, the method of preparation, right? We went into the method of preparation. We looked about the Chaturveda Kalpanas first. Chaturveda Kalpanas we went into, and in Chaturveda Kalpanas, Kopi Pakwa Kalpanas are one among the Kalpanas of different. We saw that first two, that is Garaliya and the Parpadi Kalpanas are like what? They are Moshana Sanskaras. Later on, the Kupi Pakwa and Potali Kalpanas were they included both Moshana as well as Jarana. So that was the Chaturveda Rasayanas we dealt, and Kupi Pakwas is again one preparation which uses both Moshana and Jarana. So it has both Vyatihara and the Rasayana properties. Then we came up to the divisions. We saw that based on the ingredients Sagandha Nirgandha, based on the preparation Andardoma, Behardoma, and their product form, where the place of product formulation, Kalasta, Galasta, Ubhyasta, and we dealt in detail about what Andardoma is, what the Sagandha Nirgandha is, what are the examples of Kalasta, Galasta, Ubhyasta, and all. We just went through it. Then coming into the preparations of Kupi Pakwas, we saw that it had a Purva Karma, Pradhana Karma, Paschat Karma, and all. And also in Purva Karma, it was like Shodhana has to be done, Kajali has to be prepared, Kupi has to be prepared, Kupi filling should be done. It should be kept in the Valuka Yandra. We mentioned about what Valuka Yandra is, what should be its dimensions, the Bhanda's dimensions, why Abraga Patra is kept down, right? We looked into that also. See, this is a picture again of this bhatti. Then we came to Pradhana Karma. We saw in the 3 stages what all changes are happening to the Kajali, what is actually happening inside the Kuvi during these stages, why 3 stages is being there, when we have to cork it, what are the tests that we should do before corking the Kuvi, all these things we saw, right? See, what are the factors that would determine the temperature of the extent to which we have to heat it, all those temperature variations to up to which point it has to go. All these is depend upon certain factors like amount of sulfur in the kajali, ingredients of the preparation, quality of the sand, quality of fuel, consistency of heating, maintenance of temperature, etc. see the pictures of like Kajali boiling, Gandaka Charna happening, and there is full Gandaka when it is burnt out, how it will see, how we will see. All these pictures we have seen. Then Shalaka Sanjanana, when we put Tapta Shalaka, what happens when we put Shita Shalaka, when we have to put Shita Shalaka, all these things we have dealt. Then the general observations, we have to look through the copper coin test. When we have to do, it is the end point of like this, it shows and marks the point when we have to cork it, right? And what is the difference between Andarduma, Baharduma, what happens when it is a Nirganda preparation, that also we have seen. After corking, what we have to do, we saw the video. See how we have to break the kubi, that also we saw. How we have to collect it, the different products, pictures, what we have to analyze, the examples of certain Kupi Pakwa Rasayanas, importance of Kupi Pakwa Rasayanas we have dealt. So these were the things which we have dealt. Now it is open for discussion. If there is any doubt regarding the session, anything regarding this topic, you can definitely ask me. If it is something which I have to refer and tell you, I'll refer and tell you also. If it's something which I know already, I will surely share it with you now. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Gauri. Now all participants can ask, unmute and ask directly. Okay. I think no more doubts there. You explain it very nicely. So this is our first class. If any doubts regarding this, we can discuss in the group also, so that you have to register in the Swadhyaya session. So we can conclude, Dr. Gauri. Yeah, over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Jasul, and thank you all the attendees for your patient hearing also. If there is any doubt, this video will be shared to you and the notes will also be provided to you. If there is any doubt, you can, it's free for you to ask the doubt and clear it. So for further classes, you can surely register in the Swadhyaya sessions. We'll be having further sessions like this for every subjects. Okay. For now, we have already started Shalya, Shalaki, and R&B. And the next week, Casey is coming, Panchakarma is coming, Prasuti is coming. Okay. So if you're interested, you can join it and you can contact Dr. Jasul for further queries. And syllabus also, Dr. Jasul has a syllabus of our classes also. He'll be sharing it with you. Hope you had a good session, an informative session. Thank you so much for your cooperation. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay.